The new year is upon us, so in today's video, I wanted to share how I'm using Notion to plan my big picture goals, and I'm also going to show you how I use Notion to get into the granular details of everyday tasks. Because the daily matters just as much as the yearly. You have to have a vision, you have to have a North Star, you have to set your sails towards the right direction, but if you don't put in the reps on a daily basis, you're not going to achieve those massive goals that you have for yourself. And at the end of this video, I'm going to show you how I use Miro to plan and map out my entire year and the benchmarks for where I need to be at different points in the year, all the way from yearly down to quarterly and monthly. What you're looking at here is the Productive Brain 2.0. This is a version of our flagship template that I haven't released to the public yet. And this is 10 times as impressive as the original template. So I just wanted to give you guys a sneak peek because I've been using this and it's helped supercharge my productivity to new heights. So just jumping right in, I'm going to start in the details, right? This is kind of what I would see on a daily basis when I log in. And I've been using this for about a month or two now in its current state, slowly adding new features. But this is kind of what my home screen looks like every day. I can quickly toggle down my to-do list here, and I can see what I have to complete for the day. I can toggle down my habits, and I can check these off as I complete them. And it gets sorted into a habits database. And then I can also track different metrics throughout my day, like my readiness score on my Aura Ring, my sleep score, and my sleep hours. If you guys don't know about the Aura Ring, this is a great tool for the new year as well because it helps you get your sleep and your fitness on track. I made lots of videos about the Aura Ring, just reviewing it and talking about it. So that might be something that interests you as well. But I enter my Aura Ring metrics here. I can also enter a quick bullet journal of my lows and my highs so that I can remember what went well and then what went poorly. So that's today's plan. That's where I spend a lot of my time throughout the day. But then you also scroll down here and you'll see my bookmarks. These are just pinned bookmarks that are important to me for achieving my goals that I have right now. So I've got things like Trueflation, which shows me current up-to-date inflation stats so that I can make better investment choices. Then I've got some focus music, my 2023 goals, and a few other things. So these are just the pinned things that are on my radar right now. But I can also open up all bookmarks and I can see everything that I've bookmarked in this system. And then down here, same sort of deal. We've got topics. This is part of the knowledge management side of this system. And these are the topics that I need that are most important to me in my goals right now. So I've got things like software engineering because I'm learning about software engineering. Then I've got Main Street building, which is a building that I'm working on and renovating. Then I've got community and course launch and Humways tools. Community and course launch would be a good example to show you guys how this works. So it aggregates all of my notes that are related to this topic. Then I can very quickly just open these notes up individually and get the information that I need. I can also sort out all of my topics by most popular and alphabetically. So in a way, this has elements of the Zettelkasten method, kind of those drawers of information that you can open and read deeper into a topic. And this also has elements of GTD and the para method. So if you're familiar with some of these productivity terms, I tried to bring all of these things that were useful to me in my daily life into Notion. As I have thoughts throughout the day and I don't want to get distracted with them and move on to them yet, I'm going to enter them into this quick capture module. And this helps me to stay focused on my long-term goals and focused on what the task at hand is, which is my to-do right here. So if I want to add a new task that comes to mind, I can just hit new on this add task and it's going to open this side pane here. And from there, I can enter a new task. And the beauty of this is all I have to do is add this title. I don't have to add any information to this. And then later on, I can come back and process this. I have a full routine for doing that. Next, I can add notes just by hitting new here, quickly type a note title, and then I can add notes here. And again, I don't have to fill out these properties. I don't have to refine anything right now. This is just to get my thoughts down and enter them into my productive brain. Next, we have add bookmarks. I'm just going to hit new. And here I can go ahead and add a bookmark and then quickly add a URL. Let's just say it's youtube.com. and I can close that. So I've shown you my granular day to day, and now we're going to zoom out and show you how I'm planning for the big picture. Down here, you'll notice that there's tons of pages, and these databases handle the inner workings of this entire system. Same with the widgets. These are more for mobile views, but over here we have routine views, and these are where I spend most of my time throughout the day, because they actually do just that. They give me a routine and they resurface things that are important to me based on what I'm trying to do. So if I'm trying to calibrate and think about the big picture, I go to my calibrate page. And on my calibrate page, I'm able to see the different areas of my life, different businesses that I have, real estate, personal, self-improvement. These are like the hobbies or the skills I'm working on. Health, family and friends, spiritual, finance. I have an area of my life for everything that these goals could fall into. And then down here, you'll notice that I have my different goals. So these are sorted by how many days I have left to complete them. And this 2.0 version of this template that you're looking at right now is going to be released within the next 14 days of this video going out, because that's when this goal is set to be complete. I've got some other goals in here, as you can see, and it shows me the areas of my life that this goal is influencing. It also shows me how many days I have left. Now, these are the goals that have a clear end result, and any ongoing goals get dropped in down here. So these are just goals that are things that are currently ongoing, and then once they're out of my life, I can complete them. But some of these will be here forever, like car maintenance. I don't imagine that's going to disappear. Or maintaining financials. That's something that a lot of tasks get lumped into. But these are just ways of organizing all of my different tasks into goals. And then I can also toggle over to completed goals. One of the goals I had in this system when I first created it was reach 25,000 subscribers. And now for this year, we have a goal of reaching 100,000 subscribers. So we have 364 days left to achieve that goal. So go ahead and subscribe if you're enjoying this video. Lastly, we have my focus statement, and this is something that you can quickly change down here if you want to. But this is going to resurface throughout the system, and it's just going to be a constant reminder of something that's important to me. This is a quote that really struck a chord with me, so I threw it in here, and now it'll resurface while I'm doing my daily work. But anyways, this is the calibrate page. The calibrate page is sort of a way for me to set sails in the right direction and focus on my North Star, and then we get more into the weeds and the details on a daily basis. The next page we're going to look at is the reflect page, and this view allows me to take a glance at the past. So I'll just show you an example of yesterday. Yesterday, I completed the following habits, and I didn't complete my meditation, so it remains unchecked. These are my metrics for yesterday. These are the things that went well. These are the things that didn't go so well. And then these are the tasks that I completed yesterday. This is a pretty straightforward view. I think it kind of makes sense to have a place where you can look back at what went well and what went poorly. And you can also just keep track of all of your metrics. Eventually, I want to integrate charts and things like that into this page so that I can see different analytics based on the things that I've entered throughout my days. But so far, I haven't created an app or found an app that's impressed me enough to do this. Next, we're going to move on to the process page, and this is a page that I visit on a daily basis. It's a page that allows me to see all of my notes, any goals that I've entered, any new goals, tasks, and bookmarks. These are basically the things that I quick captured earlier that now need something done for them. So this is part of my inbox zero process. I'm going through at the end of the day, checking my email, making sure I have all of those cleared out. I'm going through and making sure that everything's processed, everything is planned. And this is just part of that routine. So when I'm processing notes, they'll disappear out of here as I enter the relevant information. So I know that these notes need some topics so that they get organized into the right folder. So quickly type a note title. I can add a topic, and I'm just going to add a new topic of test just to show you an example. And we're going to add both of these to test. As you can see here, we also have this process tasks section that's going to organize my tasks based on the problem that they have. So some of these need info. There's 4 that need info. If there's any that are past due, they'll show up here. Or if there's any that need to be rescheduled, they'll show up here. So I'm going to open needs info, and you'll notice that we have all of these different tasks that need info. So film Notion goals for 2023 video. I need to set a due date for it of the 31st, which is today. I have that in my action date. And lastly, I just need to relate it to a goal. So let's just relate that to 100K, reach 100K subscribers, and boom, it's gone now. So now we would move on to the next task, which is enter a new task. I can also delete tasks out of here at this point if they aren't relevant anymore. I can add a due date in the future. Or let's say I have a due date in the past. For water plants, let's say that was on the 29th. Well, what's going to happen when I move that to the 29th is it's now going to be considered past due. So I need to go in here and I either need to delete this, I need to complete it, or I need to move it to a future date. So let's say it's due today, and let's make the action date today. And then let's set a priority level of quick task, and we'll make it a related goal of clean. Keep living space clean. I'll just throw it in there. So we have one more task in here, and I'm going to put this on the back burner. I'm going to set a due date far in the future for this one. Or actually, let's just not set a due date at all. Let's not set an action date. Let's just put it on the back burner, right? So I'm going to turn it to back burner, and you'll see that that makes it disappear from here because now it's on my back burner tasks. So it's not going to be completely forgotten, but it's just out of the way for a little while. Now we have some bookmarks to process. So I'm just going to delete these because I don't want to process them. But if I wanted to, I could add a topic and it would also make it disappear out of here. And then once we're at inbox 0 and there are no filtered results in any of these tabs, then I know that I've completed my processing for the day. Next, we're going to jump over to the plan page. And the plan page is something that I see on a daily basis as well. I come in here and make sure that everything is organized and planned correctly. So as you can see here, we have the plan for the last day of the month, the 31st here. And as I complete these things, they're going to disappear out of here. So if I hit complete, it'll disappear. And now I just have whatever is remaining. This is also what shows up on my home page. If I go back to my home page under my to-do list. So as I complete these, they disappear from this list, but they also disappear from the calendar view on planning. I can also drag these around based on where they need to be. I can drag them ahead if I want to. I can drag them back if I want to, which it wouldn't really make sense to drag them back. I'm just showing you that example because this is the last day of the month. And then I can also open up my back burner tasks, and you'll notice that I have setting up my Stream Deck in here. So this is actually a task that I moved to back burner, if you remember. And if I drag it back into my calendar, it's just going to set the status to incomplete. I can also drag things into my back burner from the calendar to just bring them out of my view. And I can see stuck tasks as well. Stuck tasks are just things that I'm waiting on for other people, essentially. And I can move those back into the calendar once the ball is back in my court. And it will change it back to what it was originally, which is a meeting. The planning view is pretty straightforward, but it helps me. It's super practical. And on a daily basis, I find myself using this. Now let's finish off with the Notion workspace with the focus page. Again, we have a very simple page and it's just bringing today's plan into my view. So typically the way that I'll have this set up is I'll have this on one monitor and then I'll have whatever I'm working on my other monitor so that I can always just keep an eye on what there is to still do for the day. And I can even see what goals that is related to. So I can see that today I'm going to make progress on completing client deliverables. And I'm also going to push towards reaching my 100,000 subscribers by the end of 2023. So this is super useful. And again, as I complete these things, they'll disappear from the list. Let's say something comes up and I have to put out a fire. So let's say fix client website. And I would move this to complete client deliverables. And that would automatically relate it to that goal. It wasn't necessarily on my priorities. I can add a priority if I want to, like quick task. And then I can go in here and I can set it to unplanned if this is something that wasn't planned before it got added to my to-do list, or it wasn't planned ahead of time. And then that will also add it to my completed tasks on the reflect page for today. And as you can see, that quote is being resurfaced here, that one that I set on my calibrate page. And it's kind of nice because I can always change this and it's always going to be resurfacing based on whatever my North Star is for that time in my life. So that's how I'm currently using Notion, and that's how I'm planning for my new year with Notion, and then also getting into the granular details of the day with Notion. Next, I'm going to show you how I use Miro to break down my yearly goals into quarterly checkpoints and then break them down to monthly checkpoints. So what I'm going to do first is just add a frame. I just hit F and I can drag out a frame, and this frame is going to serve as my 2023 goals frame. So within this frame, I can add some boxes. So I'm just going to add a long rectangle, and this is going to represent the year of 2023. So within this, I can actually add some text. So let's just call it 2023, make it a bit bigger so I can see it. And we're going to drag that up to the top. Now I like to highlight this and lock it so that I can't move it around as I'm creating the rest of this planner for the year. And now I'm going to create some quarterly rectangles. So we're going to drag out 4 of these rectangles. They don't have to be the right size yet. Just try to get them roughly the right size. Just make them all the same just by duplicating them. Command C, Command V will duplicate. Command C, Command V. And as you can see, they don't completely fill up the year, but if I highlight all of these, drag them over, and then I drag the whole thing down, it will evenly space them out. And then I can lock that as well. And these will represent the different quarters. I'm just going to quickly unlock this text so I can copy it. Command C, Command V. We're going to call this Q1. Now we're going to lock this, and nothing can be changed or edited. Now I'm going to add the monthly. So we're going to have to fit 3 within each quarter, and I want to make them the same width as the quarter. So let's just drag these out. And actually that one needs to be a bit smaller to start. Just duplicate these monthly ones and drag them over, drag them down. And then I can hit Command C, Command V. I can just drag these out multiple times along these quarters. So now we have months, and we're going to add some text for these. And finally, I'm going to lock this. And I actually find that I get the most out of just setting it up like this and then adding my goals from here. But if you wanted to, you could get even more granular with this by adding 4 weeks to each of these months and then adding goals within those. But what I would do at this point is I'd go to sticky notes, and I'm actually just going to choose a different colored sticky note for each of my goals. So for my first goal, let's say it's a weight goal for the end of the year for fitness. So maybe I say I want to be at 165, 10% body fat. Let's just go insane with this. Imagine that. We're going to make it a little bit smaller, but that is our fitness goal there. I'm also going to add a goal that we actually have for this year of hitting 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. And it's important to make these goals SMART goals. So if you know what a SMART goal is, it's basically a specific, measurable, achievable. I don't know exactly, but basically you want to make this something that's realistic and you can measure it, and you want it to be a good goal in a sense. So you're just going to want to enter those right here and enter like 3 of them. I think 3 is a good way to be here for this goal. So I'm just going to add a purple one for this last one, and we're going to make it meditate 5,000 minutes. And then from here, I can now see all of my 2023 goals, and then I can break this down into quarters. So for the quarters, I'm just going to copy over the blue and write where I need to be for this. Let's say I need to be at 150, 12% body fat or something like that. So you basically want to enter your stats right here for where you want to be by Q1. For subscribers, let's say you want to be at 35K subscribers by the end of Q1. For meditation, you want to be at 1,000 minutes or 1250. And then you can go a step further and break this down, make them a bit smaller, break it down to January. You can even bring them side by side if you want to. And you can zoom in using your scroll wheel. You can move around using the hand. And you can just enter the numbers of where you want to be at for each of these benchmarks in January, so that on a monthly basis, after you've filled this out for the year, you can come back and you can check these off if you've completed them. This is what I do. I just simply come in here and just put like a green check if it's completed. Or if I'm not on pace with the goals that I have, I can come in here and I can just put a red X so that I know if I'm achieving these goals in a timely manner or not. You could even go as deep as just like doing this for each individual goal. If you haven't reached a certain benchmark by a certain time, you could come in here and X one of them out, X another one out, and then you could put a green for one of these if you wanted to. It's however you really want to do it at this point, but that's kind of how I would visualize my goals for the year. And then when my year is done, I'd come in here and I could put a green check mark on whichever ones I completed and a red X on the ones that I didn't. And that way I get a really good idea of how I did for the year at the end of the year. And at any point, you can actually export this just by hitting up here, clicking these three dots, hitting export as image. You can export this as a PDF. It might even be useful for some of you guys to print this out, put it on your wall, and you can check it off physically as you go through these different goals. I tend to like to do everything digitally, and it's nice that you can zoom in on these really small ones. So I usually keep it in Miro and just reference this on a monthly basis. I hope this video helped you see how I'm planning for the new year, and maybe you got an insight from it. If you did, please like this video, comment below, leaving some feedback, and subscribe. And if you want to learn more about Notion and Miro, check out the videos on my channel. I've created various tutorials, walkthroughs, and most of the content here is 100% free. It'll show you how to basically build that thing that I did in Notion earlier in this video. And it will also show you anything you need to know about Miro. All right, we'll see you in the new year.